Good morning. I'm going to call the meeting to order for the November 1st meeting. Please stand for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please take a moment of silence. Here. Okay, we're going to do roll call, beginning with Commissioner Culbertson.
Here.
Commissioner Mike Smith.
Here.
And Commissioner Cos, I'm here. Commissioner Doug Smith.
Here.
And Commissioner Stephen. All are present and accounted for in person. Public comment. We do not have anyone signed up this morning for agenda item public comments. So we will move on to administrative business. Is there any administrative business from Mr. Lothry? And Paris?
I've got one thing.
Okay.
I was just going to bring up, and I know we usually wait, but I know they're asking about, are we going to do the Ride Together in Veterans Day Parade again like we've done in the past, or how's that going to work?
Well,
what's everybody's plans?
I will be preparing for my grandson's wedding on that day, so I will not be participating in the parade this year.
It's on Saturday this year.
It's on Saturday.
Jeff, are you going to do it?
I hadn't thought about it yet, but I can. I can provide a vehicle, too, if we want.
Just don't put me in the back.
I got a car with heat this year.
Okay.
Top down?
Yeah, not the top. Well, it depends on the day, I guess.
Yeah.
We could turn the heat all the way up and put the top down.
Okay.
The top car.
So if anybody wants to ride, I didn't know if you were riding on the Republican float or what the plans were.
I'll ride with you, Jeff.
Okay.
If that's all right. I'll meet you up here.
I'm
Okay.
here if I can.
No, I just will not be there.
We'll just
We're
meet
gonna
out
miss you,
here.
Madam
Not
Chair.
because I don't want to be, but because my grandson's wedding is more important to
I
me. So-
understand. One thing, Mark,
It is more
Becky asked that we pass it on to her so she could sign us up. Would you let her know? I'm sure she probably knows anyway.
I'm sure I'll be there.
Okay.
Okay. I'll talk to her then when we get done. And
Okay.
Get it set up.
Thank you for being the driver, Jeff.
And we
Put me in
did sponsor one of the porta potties
Yes.
for this year, so
Yes.
at least
Yes.
that was something that we did take care of. The commissioners took care
Yeah,
of that
out of their own pocket.
individually.
We should put our name on there.
Well, Jeff,
Right.
I don't know about that. Yeah, they get some comments. That's what I'm afraid of.
I'm
That we were all
gonna let
folded
this
away.
go.
Okay, never mind.
Sorry, Becky.
All right, well, if we have nothing else, I will go and entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
A motion is second. Begin voting with Commissioner Culbertson.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. All right. Formal board actions. We need to consider a motion to approve the proposed U.S. bicycle Route 55. So, is there somebody who would like to speak to that?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Good morning.
We're here today to ask you to provide a support resolution to the Kansas Department of Transportation for U.S. Bicycle Route 55. And we have provided you with a packet of information about this route. I know that you've already considered U.S. Bicycle Route 55 and turn it down, but we have some information that we think will help put forward this cause and get your support for it. The packet that you have has a lot of things in it. The first thing that you have is the route itself, the U.S. Bicycle Route 55. The route as it's proposed would go from Nebraska to Oklahoma. The following thing you have is the actual turn-by-turn for the routes. We've updated that and made it more detailed, and you should have that starting at mile marker 15.6 and going to mile marker 62.2. The next thing that you have is these are notes or information from Jenny Kramer of the Kansas Department of Transportation. She is the proponent for this route for the state of Kansas. And one thing I'd like to highlight on her comments, if you look down at the Q&As, and this has been a big question, I think, for the commissioners, and that is the liability for this route, for the county. And that's definitely a concern and a valid concern. And so we asked Jenny about that, and she said, we said, is there going to be any county liability associated with this route? And I quote her, there will be no more liability than if a car crashes on one of your roads. As travelers, cyclists and drivers are assuming a risk whenever and wherever they travel. So I thought about it before I came to talk to you. A lot of people have suggested that we need to have sides to our roads. We need to have the roads improved so that it would be safe for the cyclists to ride on. And that's certainly something that would help. However, it's not something we have right now. The roads that we use here in the county, predominantly for cyclists, and there's a lot of cyclists in Leavenworth County, are roads that are more rural, that have lower traffic volume and lower traffic speeds. If you think of 73 Highway between Bonner Springs and Lansing, that is a road that most cyclists in Leavenworth County would avoid. However, it's got a large shoulder on that road, a large, safe shoulder. Traffic goes about 75 miles an hour. The volume of traffic on that road is massive.
Unless you go through Lansing, then we'll stop you.
That's true. Lansing's very good at enforcing that. That's true. However, and there are a lot of accidents on that road.
Right.
So a lot of people would choose roads like Santa Fe Trail Road. I'm pretty fond of it and named my shop after it. It's a road with lower traffic volume, with lower traffic speeds. It's a more rural road. It's better looking than 73 Highway. And it's actually, for cyclists who ride all the time, it's considered a safer road. And these are the kind of roads that we're proffering to you as a safe route. Another thing that I think was asked was the expenses to Leavenworth County, and she answered that as well. She said the Kansas Department of Transportation purchases signs and posts that are placed on state and non-state roads. So they will provide signage if we ask for it. It's not even required to have signage on this route. The route is basically something that will be on a website that people can come and enjoy eastern Kansas. The next things that you'll see in your packet are letters of support. These letters of support are from 18 different government agencies that have committed their support to this route. And the route is going through their local areas. As I said, there's only 2 out of the 20 that are standing out right now. The town of Tyro, 177 people, and they've said that it wouldn't benefit them because they have no businesses in their town.
Maybe they could get a bicycle shop.
That's right. That'd be great. That'd be great. Or any business with food or gas or hotels or anything like that. That would certainly be a benefit to them. And we feel like that it would be a benefit. And the route that we've proposed, in the past route that went before you, actually went west out in the county and avoided local businesses. We've gone further east so that we would have, and I spoke to Paula Cole, and I went and spoke with the Lansing city manager and talked about Angel Falls Trail and how we could highlight Angel Falls Trail as a really great thing that they've accomplished, and it's on a part of our route that we'll use. And I said, we're trying to get them closer to businesses like hotels. They said, well, it doesn't go through Lansing. And again, as I said, we don't want to go on 73 Highway. However, these people are independent, and by putting them on that road, they can certainly wander off and go to the hotels. I mean, the distance between West Mary Street and the hotels that are available in Lansing is very small. So it'd be very easy for them to go there. The restaurants that are available to them, they can go there. Same thing with Leavenworth. We're going on 20th Street. That doesn't preclude them from coming downtown Leavenworth to shop and dine. as it is in Baser. Same thing in Baser. So the route that we propose is a route that we have used many, many times for the Buffalo Bill Century. We've used the route for a road race between Leavenworth and Atchison. We've used the route for a gravel race that we put on and you all gave approval to. And these are events that have 200-300 people in one day. And as I said, this organization is going to bring you 1 to maybe 5 people at a time. So it's a much lower volume of people. And really, the last benefit that we'll see, or one of the benefits that we'll see in addition to the sales tax revenue, they're estimating $100 per day per cyclist that they spend on these trips. And it's a $1 billion industry of cycle tourism. But the other benefit, and a more tangible benefit to you all, is that in speaking with Jenny Kramer, she said that the grants from the state of Kansas and the Kansas Department of Transportation are available and will be available to us once we have signed on to be on this route. So the roads like 20th Street and Leavenworth would be available to have grants to improve it. So we're trying to use multi-use trails, 20th Street, Angel Falls trails. We're trying to incorporate roads that we feel are safe. I think as I spoke to one of the commissioners, Commissioner Smith, we talked about a pull method. The pull method is, you devise this trail, you can pull the grants, you can pull more improvement of the roads, and I think it would be a positive thing. So again, we're asking for you to provide a letter of support to the Kansas Department of Transportation. We've included a sample letter for the commissioners, and I entertain any questions you all have.
Jerry, you ready for questions?
Any questions?
I got one, or maybe 10. The route, you're coming down 158th Street south of State Avenue. That's an improved road with shoulders on it.
Right.
Okay. Why aren't you going to go down K32 at 158th and K32?
Excuse me.
Because you're going to loop around and get back on K32. Why aren't you just going that way?
Well, we're just trying to stay off it as long as possible, as K32 has a higher volume of traffic.
But 158th south of K32 has no shoulders. And we had recently denied a business because the road we heard was so unsafe and dangerous. And I don't feel good about putting bicyclists on it.
Okay.
When we have denied a business. I mean, I'd be supportive if it went K32
Excuse me.
at 158th and went K32 on into Linwood.
We
You're going to end up back on K32 after you go down through by DeSoto.
Yes, sir. So we could definitely do that.
We already have a lot of bicyclists from Lawrence that are right on that same route.
Mm-hmm. And we also had a lot of people complaining about the bicyclists down there, too.
Well, I mean, it's public right away.
It is. I understand it, but I don't want, and that's fine. They can do whatever they want, but I don't want to be the one endorsing it, saying, hey, this is a safe bike route. Well, we've already told a business they can't go down there unless they improve the road because they're so dangerous and unsafe.
You don't have a problem changing that?
No, sir.
Okay.
And another thing, I don't want the county to have to maintain any signs or install them.
And you say
really
Kansas Department of Transportation was going to do that?
Kansas Department of Transportation will provide the signage.
We have to maintain them and install them. To me, there's an oversaturation of signs now. If it's going to be on a website, you can follow it.
That's correct. It's not required
I think
to have
signs, we got too many signs now.
We would have to request the signs from the Kansas Department of Transportation.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think this is a positive thing as far as our tourism for the county, and those signs are going to benefit the county.
How?
By demonstrating that we have this route through the county for bicyclists.
So you're okay with the taxpayers paying for maintenance and installation? The signs have to be replaced every 10 years.
I think this is a public good. This is a public good.
I think we have an oversaturation of signs now.
I did have a couple questions myself. How long will this route, what's the time frame after adoption? Does this become a long-term route?
Yes, sir. This will become a long-term route. And the route can be modified as Commissioner Smith requested, we can modify the route. Even after it's approved, the route can be modified. The route that precedes this, one of the routes that's really, really important, is the Spirit of 76 route, which, as a celebration of the nation's bicentennial, went from the West Coast all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. And that is still existent, and it has signage in Kansas today south of Emporia. And they do bring in a lot of tourism, and there's a recognition that people drive along and say, hey, what is this? And there are towns such as Humboldt, Kansas, that have benefited from this.
I noticed Leavenworth has a letter of support, Lansing has a letter of support, Baser has a letter of support.
Yes, sir.
And the neighboring counties.
Yes, sir.
So I think this will be great for Leavenworth. I think it'll bring in some tourism, and also the publicity from it can benefit our county.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'll support it if it's like K32 and 158th Street and doesn't go down 158th south of K32.
Well, I'm not going to dictate their route, but if they choose.
But it was your area that said this was so unsafe that we couldn't have a business down there, and it was a dangerous road.
That's a different issue when you're putting a bunch of trucks on the road.
Well, it is when there's bicyclists.
Well, we're not putting those trucks because we didn't approve that business.
And we're going to approve this because it's
Well,
now it's
we're not going to put
unsafe.
110 trucks from
It's
Call
not
Valley
unsafe.
on that
It's not
road.
dangerous now.
It's not.
The county
I don't know
has
if the
done
word
nothing.
safe is the word to use,
Well, that's what
but
everybody
you're not
did.
putting 110 trucks on the road.
Well, they said it was unsafe as it sits right now for the traveling public.
Well,
We haven't done anything to
obviously, if
improve
you
the
put
road.
110 trucks on the road, it's going to be a little different situation.
How would you word that if you took out 158th Street? Would it be, instead of turning right on Pinehurst, you would keep going straight?
I am happy.
158th Street south of State's okay because it's improved. It's
Okay.
158th Street south
North.
of K32.
South.
Yeah, it's south. The road that we had just denied a business on.
I can reword that and provide that to you. I don't have that right now.
Okay.
I just know there's a lot of bicycle folks coming out of Lawrence, and they ride on Golden Road, and they ride on 158.
That route is part of the Buffalo Bill Century, and so we've used that quite a bit.
So it's already a bike route.
I don't have a problem as long as you make the change that Commissioner Smith was talking about. In fact, if there's no other conversation on it, I'll make a motion to approve proposed U.S. Bicycle Route 55.
With the change.
With the changes, what I mentioned.
Have a motion.
If you're going to provide a letter of support, I think it'd be best to have the route changed in advance. Put it on into future agendas as soon as they get us the updated route.
That's fine.
What kind of time frame do you need this by?
We'll take care of it today.
Okay, but we'll have to wait to approve it for next week. Is that
Table it till next week.
Yep. Or 2 weeks, whatever it takes you.
So I'll make a motion, we table it until next week.
Second.
So we're going to table this until next week. Is that the consensus? Okay,
Then you can get
motion.
that changed by.
Yes, sir.
Date certain to next week, so sorry, but you'll have to come back next
problem.
week.
Thank
Thank you.
We're going to vote on it?
We-
Aye.
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 Okay. Need to consider a motion to appoint 3 members and an educational representative to the Leavenworth County Juvenile Advisory Board. Misty, are you taking care of that today, or?
I can start off.
Okay.
Commissioners, you have in your packet applications for the openings on the Leavenworth County Juvenile Community Advisory Board. You have one for the educational appointment, which would be Sherry Reeves, who is the Assistant Superintendent for Bay Cleveland School District. And then you have 3 for the other kind of at-large positions. 2 of them currently serve, and 1 is a new application. All of them meet the qualifications required for the appointment. Our resolution allows for the 3 appointments. The state statute allows for up to 6. If you wanted to appoint more than those 3, we would need to amend our resolution to allow for that. And Misty can answer any questions along those lines.
Are there any questions?
It's nice to have more. Apply.
Any questions about the individuals who have applied?
No.
Some of them are repeat and
Yeah.
were very active on our past board,
Yeah.
just as a
Miss Amy Bateman and Mr.
Willie, right.
Williams were both on the board previously and were active,
Yes.
attended the meetings.
But both have actively participated and attended the meetings. That is correct.
I know in the past, we've had some commissioners expressed interest in being on there, and that if you can certainly do that, you don't have to appoint the 3 people who are in there. If you'd like to appoint them and expand the board to allow for also commission appointments, we can do that as well. It's totally at your discretion how you wish to proceed.
I wouldn't mind having a commissioner on the board.
Well, you can attend any of the meetings.
Don't we currently have, we have currently,
No, we don't have currently.
Were.
There is not.
No, it's not.
Or on the new one, there will not be.
Right.
That is correct.
okay. Well, I know I had visited with Jamie about.
An interest in
future
that. Participation. So, do we want
We
to?
can attend any meeting we want and bring information back.
No, I think it'd be good to do it the way we've done it in the past and have a commissioner on there.
Do we
I
want?
agree.
Okay,
I
then we
agree.
can add.
You can do it however you like. You can either add another position so that it allows for appointment of a commissioner and these folks. You don't have to appoint all of these folks. You can.
Well, I think the folks that have been doing are doing a good job. I'd just like to add another
I
one.
really don't want to
We
not
need to look at
appoint
what
these
is the
folks.
numbers.
Well, I'm saying we
What
should.
are we need to make sure that we don't end up where we have
With an odd number.
an odd. We need an odd number. We can make sure that we can.
So we got 4 here, right?
That as we vote, that we have.
Yeah, we'll be fine. If you want to appoint 1, 2,
Yeah.
you can appoint up to 6 according to state statutes. We would just need to amend our resolution to
Yep.
allow for more than 3. That's what you want.
That's what I'd like to see us go to.
Okay, that's
Well,
fine.
then, I would suggest that if you're going to do that, that you go ahead and appoint the folks.
We'll
that
appoint
we have
these and then
today, and
expand.
Then have Misty draft
Okay.
an amendment for 2 weeks from now to allow for the additional folks. And what we'll probably do is just amend it to state that up to the statutory amount. That way, if you decide you wanted to add it,
Gotcha.
the commissioners would vote.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, then, so we'll go with, right now, we're going to look at the approval of the 4, and then we'll have Missy come back with a change so that we can add an additional member to, or 2 to the commission, or to the JCAB.
I would just ask that part of it is the resolution right now allows for an educational representative and then 3 additional.
Right.
So in your motion, if you could designate which one is going to be your educational representative.
I'm
That would be
assuming that'd
Yoakum?
Sherry Reeves.
Sherry Reeves.
Oh, Sherry Rivas?
Rivas.
Okay,
Are you ready for a motion, Madam
I am
Chair?
ready for a motion.
All right. I move that we appoint Sherry Rivas as the educational person on the JCAB board and appoint Willie Williams, Felicia Yoakum, and Amy Bateman to serve as board members of JCAB.
Second.
Motion and a second. Begin voting, and is there any further discussion? Anything else that we have to say? Okay, begin voting with Commissioner Culbertson.
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. Thank you for the work on that. Misty. Okay, now we need to consider a motion to approve Resolution 2023-29, adopting a nationwide retirement solutions.
Commissioners, this is the approving the county to enter nationwide for a 401A program. The documents themselves will be executed, but this resolution is needed to move forward with it. It's actually something that was discussed at early part of this year.
Right.
It's just taking this long to get everything wrapped up. We just completed our open enrollment. So.
This is definitely a benefit to our employees.
Especially the tier 2 and 3
Kansas retirement.
Yeah,
is
it's been
not-
changed,
Not
yeah.
the drawing card anymore to
No,
our
it's not.
organization. And so, how's this different from the Capers 457?
This one is one that the county, it's specific to a position, and it's the one that the county participates in. The 457 is the one
individual.
that would be the same as what the Capers has.
Right.
Mhm. So,
Sounds good.
if we adopt this resolution, when would this begin? January 1?
No, it would
Or
be
next
as soon as we
year's.
can get the other paperwork filled out. And submitted
Okay,
to the
it's
commission.
nothing. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve Resolution 2023-29, adopting a nationwide retirement solution.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, begin voting with Commissioner Culbertson.
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Okay, now we need to consider a motion to approve Resolution 2023-30, establishing a daily fee for the housing of inmates by outside agencies at the Leavenworth County Jail. I don't see anybody from the Sheriff's Department, so Mr. Van Paris?
Madam Chair, members of the Commission, Sheriff Dedeke communicated his desire that you adopt the resolution that is before you this morning, more or less because it facilitates an agreement between the Leavenworth County Sheriff's Office and the Kansas Department of Corrections. The Sheriff has the statutory authority to set the fees for care of inmates in the county jail. So for his normal operations and changes, you would not need to be a participant. However, since KDOC has requested a resolution from the Board of County Commissioners, I would request that you favorably consider adopting the resolution that's attached.
What is the current amount? Do you know?
I don't know, Commissioner. I apologize, can't tell you that.
It's a good question. I think it used to be 50. I'm not sure. But it's what
But
he
I
needs.
think it's been determined that he
It's what
has
he
to
needs
establish
anyway.
that, so it's not hard.
I'm sure he came up with the
Yeah,
magic
I agree.
number to make it work out.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-30, establishing a daily fee for the housing of inmates by outside agencies at the Leavenworth County Jail.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Okay, begin voting with Commissioner Culbertson.
Aye.
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 Yes. We are going to enter into executive session.
All right. Madam Chair, I move that the board recess for a closed executive meeting for the discussion of potential litigation involving the legal interest of the county as justified by KSA 754319B2, for consultation with legal counsel for the board, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship, and that the board resume meeting in this meeting room at 10 o'clock in the meeting room of the board. Present in the executive meeting will be Commissioner Culbertson, Cause, Mike Smith, Doug Smith, and Mike Stevens, Senior County Counselor, David Van Paris, County Administrator Mark Lawfrey, and others that may be called by the board.
Second.
A motion and a second. Begin voting with Commissioner Culbertson.
Aye.
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 We are adjourned for 30 minutes.
Let the record show the board has returned to regular session at 10 o'clock. No action was taken. No decisions were made. The subject was limited to the legal interest of the county.
Okay. Now, gentlemen, I will consider a motion to approve a water main relocation agreement with Rural Route Water District Number 9 regarding the 235th Street project. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve a water main relocation agreement with RWD 3 regarding the 230th Street project.
Second.
Motion and a second.
Nine.
Rural
9, I'm
District
sorry.
9.
9.
Begin voting with Commissioner Culbertson.
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain?
No.
Motion carries 3, 1 abstention, and 1 no. Okay, now we need to consider a motion to approve a water main relocation agreement with Rural Route Water District Number 9 regarding the County Road 5 Tonganoxie Road project.
Make a motion to approve a water main relocation agreement with RWD 9 regarding the County Road 5 Tonganoxie Road project.
Second.
Motion is second. Begin voting with Commissioner Culbertson.
Aye.
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 Abstain?
Aye.
Motion carries with 1 abstention, Commissioner Smith. Okay. Now we're going to do presentations and discussion. So we have Information Systems Quarterly Report. Mr. Marlborough, welcome. Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. Apologize for the delay. Over the last quarter, we completed a number of projects. I listed most of them in the report that you received. Currently, we're working on the network upgrades, which will be going on through the remainder of the year. We're also replacing some voice gateways at various facilities. But other than read you my report, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about anything that's in it or anything else that you might think of.
How are things going with the system, the court system? And
The OJA
Yes.
item, very little information is flowing down from Topeka, so things today are pretty much exactly the way they were the day after it began. We know nothing. There's been no news, no developments that we're informed of.
And we have no concerns.
I have concerns. I mean, I'm paranoid by nature in the first place, before this even
We know
began.
that.
But you're vigilant.
But yes, we've been a little more on edge than usual, looking for any indication that there's been a compromise or a problem. We haven't seen anything to indicate that. So I've kind of maintained the premise that we did not get affected by whatever happened to them. I know I've had several conversations with the county administrator on this fact, and we've explored some options on how we might approach it, but for the most part, I've maintained that we should just go ahead and stay vigilant and keep our eyes out, but I don't believe we've been affected by it. I would hate to be proven wrong.
I would hate for us
But-
to be proven wrong, too.
That's where it
Look
sits
what happened
at
with
the end of
Wyandotte
the
County.
day.
I do not want to see anything happen.
Either.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Mark, do you have any input on any of that?
Commissioners, I mean, I think it's in the news too often for us to not be a little leery of what's going on. I would feel a lot better if the state would communicate with us and let us know what exactly happened on their end, so that we would know if we should be looking for something on our end, but they won't. I guess that's their MO, which is why we discussed maybe disconnecting from that network entirely. But Larry has assured me that the path we're taking right now is the right path forward, so I will back him on that.
I hear a bus backing up.
And I
Yes, you did, Larry.
I believe if we have any indication that something is going on, Larry will address it immediately.
I would certainly be all over it, but like I said, not a single unusual thing has occurred on any of the systems.
Okay.
So there's been nothing to get my paranoia even at higher levels. It's just literally been very, very quiet, which one might say too quiet. But there's just no indication to panic at this moment. I set up conference calls with the individuals at OJA, and I asked for as much detail as they would give me. They would give me nothing. They said they couldn't. They had nothing to give me. The forensics companies they had hired will not release any detailed information until they're done, is what I was told. That sounds disingenuous to me. Having gone through our own events in the past, we were able to get information as we were working through it with the forensic company. But that's what I was told, so you take it for what you're told.
Yeah.
The only statement I was ever given definitively that it was not ransomware. I repeated that multiple times.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to know.
It's a start.
And I know that we have a good system. Our upstream drives me nuts because, it's like you have to go ahead and tell it that you do or don't want to. You have to go back in, so it takes time every time. If we get an email that is not approved in advance, but we have a good system. I know that what we're working with is a good system, because I get proof of it every time I open my email. So.
Has the state upgraded their system?
Since this began, they did implement multi-factor authentication for the district court people to access their KS Court's email system. So that was a new event. I don't know if it was related to this particular security event or not, but it happened within a few days after this began. So I kind of attached the two. The dots seem to connect to me. And then they also had an issue a couple days ago where folks couldn't get into their KS Courts email again, so they're having them all change their passwords because of something that they did, but there was no details provided. So all we see is just a little ripple and an echo every now and then of something's going on, but we don't know what.
As long as it doesn't impact us.
There's no way to compel someone to tell you these things, I don't believe.
Sorry about any questions for Larry on?
No.
Well, I would add that the Chief Judge, Judge Loden, and Steve Cross and the Court Administrator, they have communicated with me a lot. They've been very cooperative and very understanding. I even expressed our concerns on what some of the things we may do to remediate our fears of their situation, and they're completely understanding. So I cannot say I've had any difficulty in dealing with our local district court. We're just not able to get information out to Topeka, nor are they.
Right.
The judge had attempted to get some information for me as well, and so if the judge can't get it done, I know I have very little clout.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Anything else I can do for you?
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything else.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect
you.
presentation. Perfect presentation.
You keep things short, don't you? I think the less said about security.
Right,
better off
yeah,
we are.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Additional public comment, we didn't have any. So are there any other presentations by the commissioners? What you been up to this week? We'll begin with Commissioner Culbertson.
Nothing this week.
I just had the Council on Aging Halloween contest yesterday. It's better every year. Folks out there do a real good job. Everybody had a real good time.
And Commissioner Stephen and I attended the groundbreaking for the facility
Yes, please.
on Monday morning, and it was nice and cold, and Commissioner
It was.
Stephen was not appropriately dressed, I will say.
I'm hot-blooded.
Really, really cold out, but it was a very nice ceremony and well attended, and I'm looking
Governor was
forward
there.
to, the governor
Senator
was
Moran
there,
was there.
Senator Moran, Senator
Marshall.
was there. It was a very well attended event, and
Very positive.
our mayor, Wilson, did a really nice job in his speech that he gave. And so it was a very nice event.
It's going to be a nice facility.
It is going to be a really nice facility. It is going to be state-of-the-art everything.
No.
Well, but it's going to be state-of-the-art. They're going to really focus on rehabilitation and having programs in place that prepare individuals for when they leave incarceration.
Yeah.
That they have the ability to have improve their education, to have mental health and substance abuse programs in place, and to avail themselves of those things. So I think that, and the safeguards and the safety of the guards is going to be much improved. And I will also say that there was a small demonstration in front of the penitentiary, but I think that the powers that be heard them loud and clear, because 16-hour days for guards, especially at a facility like the Big Top, really not optimal. I mean, it's not designed for people to have to be away that long. So I'm
That's
just
true.
giving my little spiel for the guards. I know
I agree
hopefully
with
people
you.
will come in, and we'll have more people apply for the positions, and that they can get people hired at a wage that they're willing to work and take those risks.
Bayshore City Council meeting last Wednesday, Fairmount Township meeting last Thursday, and then attended the Stranger Township event on Saturday. That's it.
I don't have anything other than
Just
that. That's it.
Well, if we don't have anything further, I'll
Mike
entertain a
didn't have
motion.
Mike didn't have anything.
Isn't it
Oh,
easy?
better make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
You're giving me a hard time.
I made a motion to adjourn.
Anybody, I'll second. Getting voting
Second.
with Commissioner Culbertson.
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
We are adjourned.